Good morning, everyone. What a beautiful day. And thank goodness we're starting to come out of the back end of winter. Now, let me tell you some more interesting facts about mental and emotional imbalance. So, interestingly, most mental health issues share some overlapping signs and symptoms. For instance, anxiety, depression, bipolar, and psychosis all result in fatigue, sleep problems, difficulty concentrating, gut issues, along with decimated gut bacteria colony, nutritional deficiencies, panic attacks, and inflammation inside our body, including inflammation inside the brain. Because they are all coming from the same place. Stress response. Yep, turns out. And no mental health issue just happens. There is always a reason or reasons. Always. And so often the underlying reason or reasons could have been triggered decades ago in our past life. And that is why it can also be so confusing, as in the here and now, there doesn't appear to be a problem other than our growing mental and emotional imbalance or concern, because our level of stress is increasing. And those reasons for those increases in the levels of stress on our body are what we must discover and delete or reduce. And that will automatically bring down the overall level of stress and begin to realign that imbalance. And that is the critical role of experienced therapy or counselling. Now, I know it's extremely difficult to find a good therapist or counsellor and get regular sessions, which the process requires, and also to be able to afford it. But that's the way it is. Now, just to add, therapy and counselling are only one part of the key to recovery with mental and emotional imbalance. But it all contributes to reducing our overall levels of stress. Simple. And don't forget to check that list of all stress effects that can impact on us humans, and I've listed them in the description section at the bottom of these recent videos. Now, just for interest, the science says that major triggers to our stress response can also be coming from our mind, as the negative thoughts, feelings, and or emotions which we are thinking. 3 such common thoughts come from a lack of knowledge or information can create a sense of uncertainty and doubt, which leads to more doubt. That's how it works. Doubt leads to more doubt. And that leads to a sense of danger. It can be very subtle and never ending and very, very stressful. Number 2, a sense of ongoing conflict all around us, subconscious or real. And this happens to be a good description of dysfunctional stress causing relationships, and not to forget our modern technology and our hectic lifestyle. Note, these examples have nothing to do with us personally. We just subconsciously react to them. And we could also be subconsciously reacting to things that happened years ago. Isn't that interesting? But it triggers our stress response in the here and now, in the present. Now, number 3, what is commonly called the anxiety thought loop. Because we are stressed, we have anxious thoughts, which will immediately trigger our reptilian brain into the stress reaction. Our brain says we wouldn't be having such a thought if there wasn't a real situation triggering it. Common sense in a weird way. Now, the moral of that story is that our thoughts can lie. They regularly don't express the truth. Therefore, we don't have to agree with all our thoughts or react to them. Remember that one. Now, not to forget what we said in a previous video way back, our human mind can only think one thought at a time. So we get to choose positive thoughts over negative ones, which will create a positive outcome, which will not trigger a stress response. That's right. And in fact, it begins to lower the overall level of stress. And that is the science. Because our stress response never gives up on us, because it's a part of what and who we are as humans, we have to learn to manage it by managing the lifestyle we live and the thoughts, feelings, and emotions that we choose to express. Ironically, it turns out that any one of us can do just that, and with great success. But who of us would ever have known that unless we were told? But until we know what we must do, we appear to be stuck in a life of stress and mental imbalance. So, in a weird way, mental and emotional imbalance is all coming from a very successful ancient survival adaptation called the stress response, primarily designed to get us to rapidly move out of harm's way or fight to the death and hopefully win and survive. And now that we know the potential cause of what and why we are feeling as we do, it is also a simple, clear sign that our personal stress levels from the life we are living are far too high. They have been going on for far too long, and that biochemical response or reaction is creating this sense of mental and emotional imbalance inside us. Now, one more time. The science says that 95% of all mental health issues have one defining thing in common: our ancient human stress response. That's right. And it's no secret, as it's been known for at least the past 80 years. Okay, that'll do for now, and let's move on to the next video with some interesting bits and pieces about our mental and emotional imbalance and our human evolution. Okay, we'll catch you later. Bye-bye.